This instrument has a hole, comes in many colors, and has 6 strings. That's right, it's a guitar. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about the guitar? Sure. It has frets where you can push your finger down to change the pitch of the note, like this. Like that. And then on my other hand, I am plucking it with my fingers. Or I can use a pick. Here's something cool you can play on the guitar. Interesting. So what level of pain would you say guitar has given to you? Probably a 10. A 10? It is especially painful as a beginner because you need to develop calluses on your fingertips when you're pushing down on the frets. And then if you want to become even better, you develop a bar chord on the side of your index finger so you can play the bar chord. Well, stop scaring the audience. My fault, I'm just being honest. Moving on to the gear that's needed to play the guitar. Well, to find a guitar, like going to your local guitar center, you can find good budget guitars, but a few things you should look out for is if you want to play on the higher frets easier, get a cutaway. Usually there's like a kind of more of the body of the guitar here, but this is a cutaway so I can reach higher. Also, if you buy a guitar, the strings, they're usually terrible. So I recommend Elixir or Diodario strings, and then once the strings are off, you can grease the fretboard with things like this, fretboard grease, so it makes it easier to do things like slides, or just anything in general. My goodness, that is a lot of prep work. That is true. Well, how can you start playing? Well, the first step you do is you learn how to read our music, which is called tablature. It's super easy. You just look at the string, and then it tells you a number on the string. So you just count up the frets. If it's a 1, it's the first fret on this string. Well, that is appealing. What would you say is the best and the worst parts of playing the guitar? The best thing about the guitar is there's so many things to learn, so many techniques to learn, but the worst thing is the pain. The pain is terrible. Moving on to another instrument, this one also has a hole, you can't return it, and it is very unique. That's right, it's singing. Hey, thank you for the introduction, I feel super important now. What would you say is good and bad about singing? Well, it's really cool to be able to just sing your favorite songs instantly, no equipment needed, but the bad news, it's extremely tied to your confidence. So when you're singing something, you don't know what's gonna come out. It's not visual instrument. Like I can't see anything here, and I don't know what's gonna come out. Guitar, you pluck a string, you know what it's gonna do. You don't have to make any effort to make the actual sound. So exactly how big of a role does confidence play in this instrument? A lot of singing is tied to your confidence and how comfortable you are, because if you are nervous and you kind of get tight like this, you're gonna stress out these vocal cords, and then the sound is gonna have a harder time getting out of your mouth. More on that note, a few things to learn for singing is like singing breathing, singing on pitch, and then extending your range, like being able to hit those high notes. I see, yeah, most people aren't accustomed to talking up here. They speak in their talking voice. Exactly. When I first started, I thought I could only sing low notes because my talking voice is pretty low. But with some practice and just repetitions, I kind of get it. I can sing a bit higher now. It's pretty exciting. So is there any kind of equipment needed to learn this instrument? There's absolutely no equipment you need. Fantastic. So what about the levels of pain? Well, when learning new things, there's always some sort of pain. So for example, like I talked about earlier, you're extending your range. You have to vibrate your vocal cords faster to be able to produce that higher pitch, and that requires more oxygen, so that can kind of hurt your head if you're not doing it right. Nothing crazy though, you don't have to worry too much. The other thing is developing confidence, like that you actually like how you sound and you're comfortable singing in front of other people. It is rough, but once you start to actually like yourself, it gets a bit better. Example of pitch and confidence with the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's pretty hard. Somewhere over the rainbow. There's so many things to mess up, but if I do it like this, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and those dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Wow, it sounds like a mental battle with yourself. Yeah, with singing, it's all about the emotional damage that happens. And now, soaring into our final instrument, this one uses 10 fingers, standard notation to read things, and can use hammers to make the notes sound out. That's right, it's piano. Yo, can you tell me a bit about your instrument? Well, you like push a key, it makes noise, that's it. Well, there has to be a bit more to it than that, right? Okay, fine. You coordinate your two hands to be able to play the bass line and the melody of a song, quite like fingerstyle guitar. Oh, and you also have to read through like the monster of standard notation, but it is super visually easy to tell what is happening. I just knew you had it in you. Yeah, I'm just tired. Can you tell me a bit more about standard notation? So you got the bass clef and you got the treble clef to show which part of the piano you're playing on, like which octave. But the challenging part is they're read in two different ways. Oh, and they look evil. Evil? You said? Yeah, look at this thing. Like, what the heck? It's like scribbles. Okay, enough of that. How hard do you think it is to learn that? Yeah, with diligent practice and like a few months of getting it going, if you get past the boredom, you can probably do it. You gotta have more pride in your instrument. Like, what do you like about it? Well, it sounds pretty cool and it looks pretty cool. What a rubbish description that is. You understand me? Okay, once you can actually read it, you can start playing your favorite songs, and then it's pretty painless unless you do something physically demanding for too long and then your first wrist is like dying. It's also super easy learning music theory because, you know, super visual instrument, you can see everything that's happening. One more thing, is it kind of expensive and needing a lot of extra gear to be able to play? All you really need is a piano with all the keys and a pedal, and that's all you need. Okay, the moment you've been waiting for. My concluding thoughts. Overall, so to learn a guitar, it is budget friendly, however it needs a setup, it's easy to learn to read, but it is not a visual instrument, and it is very painful. Okay, moving on. Now, singing is a confidence dementor on yourself. It could be tricky to learn because it's not visual at all, and it is 100% free. Lastly, piano, it's a tiny bit expensive, that initial investment, is a visual instrument, and it needs standard notation to be able to read those lines. It also sounds pretty cool. There you go, folks. Then make your decisions, and I'm signing off. Getting excited, changing it up, going to party, wish me luck.